ก็จะเกิดในสายจืดจังจังเทียนนี้คอยอยู่ป้าตัวอยู่รุ่นนั่งตัวอยู่เครื่องเทอยู่รู้รอก็ปนป้าหมู่สายในสายจืดก็ยิ่งว่าฝังหมู่สายในสายจืดวันเต้รู้กูอีเห็นตัววันที่เปล่ายกก็จุ่มโอโหหรือลอซี่ถอดเติมหมู่โบเลยก็ตัวประโยชน์หมู่ฝังเทรู้ชื่อเหรอหัวก็สีหมู่โบบลูนูดัจีหูรเป้เราอย่าหมู่ใช้เป้หูจะต้องเดยีจะโจยีชายีโจยีเป้เราอย่าหมู่ใช้เป้ย้อนโจเดยีจะโจโอโวโจพอแกใส่จานอก็จุบโป้ก็จะใจว่าอย่าอยู่หมู่ฝังยัวหมู่ย้อนดอกเขาเธอสายหล่อป้าจวดที่ไทยจะเต้นมังอยู่โจอยู่บลูนูดัจีจนจีหูจนจะต้องยีจะโจยีชายีโจยีเป้แต่รู้นั่งอย่าไป说ย้อนโจน的别扯的ป้าที่ไทยก็รู้容多
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Telemon Podcast. This is your host Shua Vu. Today we have a special guest, and to guest though, you're James Lowe, and we are going to be talking about elections and voting today. So join us on this topic. Write them down in the comments, and we'll get to them in a bit. Okay? So our special guest, James, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, no, sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here on behalf of Common Cause Minnesota. So I'm excited for this very, very important conversation about voting because voting is in a few days. So next Tuesday, so it's coming really fast now.
Mm-hmm. Now, you had some things you wanted to talk about. Can you please share some of that stuff with us? Because I don't think that for Pekka genre, they don't really go out and vote. So if you don't mind sharing some of that stuff with us.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to. I think first is, before we know kind of where we're at is know a little history, know a little history about, United States voting and the voting rights and the struggle, right?
Yes.
So throughout the years, I guess what I want to highlight is, especially with your young people now, is that United States have been here for 248 years. Mm-hmm. So since the start of the United States, back about 248 years ago, only white voters who has property. So you have to be over 21 years old. You have to own property. Essentially, you have to be rich in order to vote who's going to be in office. And essentially, you vote for someone who's going to be advocating or having policy about you, people who own properties, right? So that's how it came about. And we came a long way, but we still got some way to go, sure. So that's what I want to highlight here. So quickly, again, little history here. Once it's at the federal level, and then it's not until 1787 where the federal government was like, okay, every state can have their own power to regulate voting rights. So that is good. So that's more freedom at the state level.
Okay.
So and then essentially we move on to our slavery, right? At the time, slavery, so our black community, our black brother and sister had it the worst, right? So they could not vote at the time. And I don't know if you knew this, moving forward, it's not until 1920 where the women can vote. Prior to that, only white male who had property could vote. So slavery during that time was really difficult. It was not, again, until 1868 that African American could vote, but even that was really hard. Only men could vote. So not until 1920 that female could vote. So if we process that, women's right came a long way.
Yes.
So our sister could not vote until 1920. And the Native American. Prior to that, not until 1924 that Native American could not vote, and they are the native here. They originate essentially. The white people came and said, this is our country. But before that, 1924, they could not vote. Who's going to be elected in office? Who's going to represent their value?
Yes.
So just a little piece about that. How about your Asian law? How for voting rights now is not until 1952. The Asian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
1952.
1952. If you are a person of Asian ancestry, not until 1952 that we have the full right to vote. And then I do want to highlight Martin Luther King's ear. So, little history, our black brother and sister, right? So, 1965, that's when the true voter discrimination, where they take a lot of everything out, where everybody can vote and everybody can practice. And that's the magic right there, is during the civil rights movement, with Martin Luther King, they were voting, we make sure that everybody can vote, essentially. So, again, not so long ago that all of us can vote. And then one thing I realized quickly now, it was not until during the Vietnam War, after Vietnam War, 1971, where we changed from 21 years old and 18 years old people could vote. So go ahead and there. So and then again, 1975. Lastly, here is everything used to be in English. But America is a land of melting pot, right?
Yeah.
But not until 1975 where they start translating, okay, voting material into different languages. So right now, the beauty, if you name Minnesota State Secretary website, now the material are translated in Hmong and other languages as well. And that's because of the policy back in 1975. So quickly, when you look 248 years ago until now, we have came a long way,
Yes.
but it was not easy. There's a lot of people in power wants to keep them in power. So that's why voting is so important. That now we have the chance to vote, we gotta vote.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys hear that? It's the privilege.
It is a privilege.
Absolute privilege.
Yeah, and it's all right. We have to exercise it. Yeah, but
Yo, man.
the one in power going to be happy that we don't vote.
Yes.
So it's important that we vote. How can I show up? What do you think about voting? As a host, yeah, also as a voter, right? So you vote in many elections. What do you think about voting? Why is it important? Yeah.
I am guilty.
Okay. And that's the truth, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I have actually never voted.
Oh,
never
interesting.
This is the reason why.
Okay,
I'm gonna
tell me
give you
more.
the reason
Yeah.
why. The reason why this is really a hot topic for me, and the reason why I'm gonna actually vote this year
Excellent.
is
Excellent.
because there are things that are happening that is affecting. It's gonna affect my life.
Yes.
It's gonna affect my children.
Yes.
And so I don't want that to happen. And
Right.
that's why I'm gonna vote this year.
Excellent.
So that you know what, maybe
Yes.
so that's why
Yes.
I'm gonna vote this year.
Excellent. Excellent.
And that's why
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's why I have so much questions too.
Yes, please.
I'm going to
please.
be a first time voter, and I wanted a sheet, a ballot sheet, but then I know that you have to get one day in a.
Okay.
So, or you could print one on sample.
Yes, there's a sample on the website that
Yep.
you could look it up and see who is on the ballot so that you know who to vote for.
Yes.
So it's best. One piece of advice: if you don't know who to vote for, at least maybe know what party to vote for.
Okay.
So, representing our organization, I can't talk about party or candidates, but I can encourage you guys that hey, are you Republican? Are you Democrat? Are you liberal? Are you independent? Like you should know kind of what party kind of resonate with your value.
Okay.
So if you are unsure which candidate, maybe vote per party. You can't go wrong with that because they have your best values in mind, right?
That is good.
So
good to know.
So
That's very
think about that for a little bit too. So there's a lot to process. I'm not here to say who you should vote for, but I'm here to say you got to vote. Every single election you have to vote because who's in office is important. Are they representing you and your interests? Like you said, there's a lot of things with family, jobs. There's a lot of issue that they put policy in place.
Yes.
So it's important that you vote. So I'm so happy that you're voting this year. So
Yeah, and
yes.
That's why it's a big movement for me. So I have no clue how to even start. I don't even know where to go. That's
Good.
the question.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go into your question. I have a template where I want to touch base, make sure that we hit our missions here, but I want to really be authentic about the question that you have.
Yes.
And just a little bit about myself now. I was not born here, so I was born in Thailand. But Vinay came here at the age of 9 years old. I saw a little bit of how grow up in Thailand was, right? Because their government system is different, how they govern the country, right? So much about, having a king and having a system where you don't really vote for your politician, right? It's so much more appointed or so much more like, monarchy where it's family based. I think it's so lucky that we're in a place where the federal government, our president right now, our general election right now, to our senator, to a representative at the U.S. level, to the state level, and to the local city council level, we vote for all of those individuals. So that's the beauty about the Kimikana, where we get to vote who is in the office, who's going to make policy and allocate money. They think that power is money. Power is policy, right? And if you're not at the table, then it's going to be a big disadvantage.
Right.
So that's why young people, it's so important that we get involved in politics and know about who's going to represent us at every level, city level, all the way to federal government level. So we'll have a meeting that she, so let me hear about your questions. So good king I not say I love politics, but when I was growing up, I didn't like politics.
Okay.
It was difficult for me to understand, but when I was in college, I start seeing things differently. The inequitable pieces, right? Why are certain groups of people more successful than certain groups? Resources, money, where are money going? There's tax dollar, where are they going, right? So I start wondering, and I become a student senator at the college level. I went to the University of Wisconsin River Falls, so I represent that capacity. I came back, I start working, and got involved with a lot of the home community here, and now I'm involved in the mainstream community. Last year, I ran my own race. So last year I was a candidate. I was running for St. Paul City Council in Ward 1. Unfortunately, I lost my race. I was the second candidate out of 8 candidates, but I learned a lot about politics and how to be involved. So, but my point is, we have to be connected with the system. Otherwise, we are going to be placed at a big disadvantage. That's why voting is so important. So, what I make with the how I came about here. So, I'm very passionate about this project. But yes, it's how do we vote and who qualified to vote, right? That's you got your first time. I think this is fascinating. Let's walk through your journey. What question do you have? Sure.
Well, I have first question is, I don't know where to go,
Okay.
and that's going to be the biggest question. Like, do I go to your house and vote, or do I go to my buddy's house? What do we do?
No, you do not. My house and your buddy will not be able to help you, but we can help guide you.
Right.
I think the fascinating piece is, to me, there's a lot of complication, but voting is really simple to me. So voting, they break it down to 2 parts. Is you have to register. You have to register to vote.
Okay.
Okay. It's like going to college and you have to apply to college.
Okay.
To make it easy. It's like having a job and you have to apply to that job. So that paperwork, it's called registration. So you have to register to vote. Step E.
Okay.
How do you register? Usually you register ahead of time. But right now, early registration is closed already. So right now, don't stress. We're so close to the election that they don't have time to process right now if you pre-register online. So what we do now is you can register at the voting poll. So if you vote early, you can go to the location, the government location. You could go register, and then part 2 is you vote. That's it. So 2 steps. 1 is you have to register to make sure you qualify as a voter. And number 2 is you just vote for your candidate. So register and vote. So 2 easy steps like that.
Okay.
So right now, look at the situation. If you haven't registered, register.
Just don't register.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, what you do is you need 2 documents, okay?
Okay.
So either you just need your government issue ID, so your driver's license, or you bring your driver's license, and then you bring a utility bills.
Okay.
Okay, it could be electric bill, it could be water bill, some sort of bill that you are living that property and you're paying bills to that property.
Okay.
Right? So got an ID here, got a utility bill that shows that you actually that's the place that you're living at. That's how you prove that that's your place of residence. You got an ID here, got a utility bills now. You go to the voting poll and you show that to them, you register right there, and then you can vote next. All at the same time. All in the same day. So voting is really easy in that sense. So you can register at voting poll places, and then you can vote right away after that.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not your voting polls, man. Where are they usually located?
Yes.
And where will we be able to find them?
Yes. So voting polls now, the website that is really easy to remember is mnvotes.gov. Let me double check here again. Yes, I have .org, sorry.
Okay.
So MN, so Minnesota, VOTES, votes.gov, G-O-V. So it's a government website. And then it looks like this, don't need Lorna. It looks like this, okay?
You want to bring the camera in?
I know we can't, so it looks like this, and the in here is very easy to navigate. So you can see here, voting day right here. You click on voting day, and then right here, where do I vote? You click in there, where do I vote? And then and then very easy. You go in here, you put your zip code. So sure. Let's do an example. I could just do a different example here. So and then you put in your zip code now, and then you put your house number. So I put mine, for example, and then you put your street address. Very easy to navigate. They don't know how to use website, right?
Yeah.
So you can see here. So if I put in just my zip code, my house number and my street number, my street name.
Okay.
Right here, and then it give it to you right here. Your next election is November 5th, and then you vote at Mount Airy High Rise.
Okay.
And they give you the address right
gives
there.
you the address.
So easy.
Okay.
And all you got to do is voting hours now is the day is 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. You have to vote by 8 p.m. That's when the poll close, okay? So your name you got a location then, and then just go register, and then you can vote right away. So that easy, okay? So you can always by going to the mnvotes.org now, how polling place you can find them on the website.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
就主要用意思。
Yeah.
Should be, yep.
First time voter mà you ain't mỗi con như vậy trái you mess up there you support that you.
Yeah.
Or that you.
Yeah, good. Do you have time?
How
Which
much,
one, man?
how much time we got?
Okay, so everybody, give it a try.
Okay.
Just put in your zip code. We're not going to show the audience, but
All right.
I'll show you how easy it is. You let them know, yeah? Right there.
Okay.
You see that?
Yep.
So this is your voting location right here.
Oh, so, okay. So
No, you got more.
now does it vary from other people at Lanyo?
Yes. Yep. So the Secretary of State, they allocate a voting poll and they divide locations, so it's easier. So not everything is congested in one place. So this is yours. So this is where you
okay.
go. If you go to another location,
Yeah.
it'll be harder to find you because you don't live in that location, right?
see.
So if you pre-register to vote and you go there next time,
Yep.
then they will have your information already.
Okay.
And then you go, they just say, hey, what's your name? She wanted you to check it. Okay, you're registered, you're good to go. They got to move votes. See?
And then it'll always be there too, right? That would be the same place next year.
That would be the same place unless they reshuffle and they change. So it's always good to check before you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but that would be usually your voting poll for a very long time.
Okay.
Yes. But yung gì đó?
Yeah, that was easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
What other question you have? Yes.
So I just have a question with the ballots.
Yes.
That's another question. Now with the ballots, is it do you cross? Do you X? Do you circle in and then
You bubble it in.
You bubble it
Yep.
in, and then do you actually fold it up?
Nope.
Or you don't fold it up? You just hand it to them?
Yep. So let me tell you the process. Every year when I vote, and this is a very standard procedure. Na, I think this is the great piece that you talked about. My main message we want to say to you guys is make a plan to vote. If you plan to do something, most likely you're going to carry it out, right?
Right.
If you plan to go to college, you're going to do that. If you plan to go grocery shopping, you have a plan. Hey, after work, I'm going to go to cut food. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, right?
Yes.
If you have a plan to exercise, then most likely you will exercise, right? So we want to elaborate there. Hey, make a plan to vote that day. If you like to vote early, you can. I'll talk about that in a bit here too. You can do early voting, so you can beat the line, right? But if you're like me, I like to vote on the day off because there's something exciting about that. Because I don't mind waiting in line.
Yes.
And I like to see other people voting. I like to observe. I like to go in there. It makes me feel like I'm doing my civic duty, right?
Okay.
So I like to go in on a special day, November 5th here. So what you do is you go and you check in. So they're gonna check to make sure you're pre-registered. So pre-registered, you just show the ID. They verifies you, then they give you a ballot. And then you go. If not, then you pre-register, like I said earlier. And then you go to your voting booth. So there's usually like a little half box voting booth.
Okay.
You go in there and you have your own privacy. They give you a pencil or a pen, and then you look through your ballot. Shake your name, who's you gonna vote for, and you just color it in. You bubble it in, and then once you're done, then you walk out. You go towards the other exit. Usually they have a flow, so it's a nice flow. They have a system going, and then you give it to the person, the big machine, and they're gonna. They actually don't give it to them, but they're there to make sure you do it correctly. You just put in there, and it's gonna scan, and it's gonna go in the machine.
Okay.
That's it. And then they give you that red sticker, say "I vote,"
Oh, nice.
and that's when you take picture and you show on Facebook. Hey, I did my job. I voted it. Okay.
Okay.
So then you check in, you go through, you bubble in which candidate you want to vote for each seat, and then you just turn it into that big machine that will record your selection, and then they give you a sticker, and you're on your way. So they will show it takes 5 minutes. They will show you it takes like 25 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So it really depends how busy you will go at that time. That's your whole voting. If you do your research ahead of time, it's really quick and easy.
Okay.
Because you know who's going to vote for already.
No, your parents la pai na. Ku much to na. And I help them out, but then I can tell them that they're gonna have to go vote over here. can they just go there? But when they the pala, yeah.
Yes, yes. Bên Mông Chiang Zhou na, Bên Mông, we're a big population here.
Yep.
So most places around here have Hmong staff. So we call their trained election judges or election volunteer now. Most of the time they'll pay staff position, and they are there to help you. So you cho lo mùi là chpo lu na, thì hey, cú nè cú chỉ chpo lu nè ba bể lu na lo là bể tao thế. So not a problem. I've gone where cú nè cú chỉ là chpo lu na, cú ba là tao thế. So you just have to let them know that that's what you're doing. You help translation for them. So cái how interpret là chỉ yes, you could do that. So cho lo mùi na, go as a family. So cú thế cú nè cú chỉ là chỉ. I used to go in the past where cú niệm mà cho cú chơi là so you know every time cú vote cú nhớ cho cú niệm thế thế cú chỉ là chỉ nói gì bên mùa gì bên nhiều mùa ok so cú lỡ hồi lượt kia I used to go cú lỡ hồi lượt gì cú cho là gì bên mùa vote ok.
Sorry to hear that about you.
Yeah what's okay, so it's not the same but I still vote and honor her as well.
Okay.
Because now she can't no longer vote, right?
Yeah.
So Nick, you vote, you vote now, okay? So that's the process, sure. You move through in the sir. You hay sao lù nó là lúc một cho nên bị nó tạo ra như thế.
Okay.
Yeah, usually mo pay Somali lo, mo pay Lumong lo, pay Lumei lo. They usually have a diverse team because they know the need here in St. Paul.
Okay.
From Minneapolis as well, yeah.
All right. That's all the questions. We pretty much covered most of them.
Okay.
The other one is
The
other question is probably the biggest one is why we're probably going to talk about it is why bitch luana bitch from 19 to 40 why is there a big gap in there where bitchy vote?
Yeah, I'm in that category too. So be the 18-year-old all the way to 40 years old. You can shine your perspective. Here in your audience, like you can put in the comment why you don't vote or why young people don't vote, right? So Tokuna is a few things. So I think you're more separated. There are three big things that young people don't vote, I think. Because a lot of time as a individual, what I observe now, a lot of our elders now, my parents, they vote because they see the importance of sign off sa chú bé mua nhiều nọ chú nè cái nọ cái chú chỉ nói phong pháp bỏ một đầu số tụ nữa bây thì bé mua nhiều nọ chú thì hoặc cho lo mà lời the involved here they want their voice to be heard. So I give our parents a lot of props. My parents, mom and dad, vote every single election. Here's the other piece about Yalona is they go to senior center. So I'm so proud of it. Your senior center with your vote too. So that's very cool. I wish your young people to vote. But we don't have that services, unfortunately.
Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future.
That's actually a good idea.
So we need more money so we can do more initiative here. But young people here, is they're busy trying to make a living.
Yes.
They're busy trying to hustle. Some young people, they have two jobs, right? They have one job, but they get exhausted. And so they're trying to make a living. I think that's what's happening. The other one is our young people here, they have family. Like you and I, they have young kids, right? So they go to work, they come back, they're exhausted. They have to take care of their kids, cook for them, take care of them extracurricular activity. And now oh my God, I missed the voting. Voting is closed at 8. Oh my God. So just the busyness of family and work.
Right.
And then the other piece too, I think our young people are discouraged. They feel like their vote doesn't count. They feel like, why should I vote? Put in the time and effort where my candidate will not get elected.
Yeah.
Right? And they just don't trust politicians. And that's sometimes the reality. How unfortunately, that could be true, but don't feel that way. Have a growth mindset at the my vote does count. I have one vote out of thousands of votes, but I'm gonna vote. If we all change our mindset that we are gonna exercise our duty to vote, and all of us vote, we make a big impact. And our candidate can win and will win. And the cool thing is, if we look at Hmong candidate right now who are running for office, public service, and politics here, most of them are young people under 40, like myself and you. So they understand our struggle about finding a job, about opportunity, parks and recs, about policy that makes sense to us. You see what I'm saying? Easy as road condition. Okay, if you drive a sports car and Nepal, your Gale St. Paul is so bad, and you say, something needs to be done about that.
Right.
So a lot of issue that we're not here today is not about talking about issues or policy, but today we're talking about you have to vote so that the person in office represent you and your value, the issues that you care about. Nah. What about you, Shua? Because pick your young people. What are the barrier? Why young people don't vote? What are your thoughts?
I believe the reason why
Yeah.
is because I think they just don't see it like it's going to affect them. And that's kind of how I saw it.
Okay.
So I never really thought that was going to affect me much until I had my kids.
Right.
And then I saw that this can happen
Right.
and I won't be able to do anything about it
Right.
unless I actually voice my opinion or I get my family, speak with them, and
Right. Right.
that's the only difference maker that's gonna
Yeah.
break the point.
Right.
So that's why Kuchili at this year, I'm gonna vote because
Good. Yes. Right.
Yes, 4 years from now, 4 years from now, we're stuck with that, and
Right.
you never know.
You never know. Right.
Well, so that's why I right now because
Right.
EU is very different. Times are changing.
Right. I totally echo that. I think when we don't know what we don't know, and when we know certain thing that it connects with us, go ahead. Now I have a kids, and my family is in jeopardy if I have a elected official who don't get family ideas and will make policy and will allocate money to family.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if they don't value family, now they value business. So they're going to allocate and do policy that are good for business owner and not family who are raising kids.
Yeah.
So it's really important that you know that piece and you're making that connection now.
Yep.
So is like, it is so important. How is this affecting me and affect all parts of your life? We just don't know it. There's a lot of policy every single day at the federal level, state level, and city council level now will affect all of us. It could benefit us or it could put us at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important that everybody votes. So I echo what you said.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, good. I'm just so excited. It's gonna be your first time voting. That's good.
First time and continue voting for
Yes, and voting is not hard. It can be complicated, but again, there are some people now. Just on the serious note, there's some people who are trying to prevent us from voting, because what do they want? They want to be in that seat. They want to be in control. They want to have control of that power to make decision and allocate money. So we have to put a stop to that. And that stop is you have to exercise. You have one thing to do, and that is to vote. Never give that up. Nah.
Yeah.
Because there's decade-long fights to make sure that we can vote. And again, if you're 18 years old, so here's who can vote. So let's see. I don't know if you knew this, Shua. Let's see here. So y'all are confused there. Can I vote? So here are the requirement.
Okay.
So you can vote if you are a U.S. citizen. So you have to be a U.S. citizen. You got your license, you cannot vote. So you have to be born here. As you're born here, then you automatically U.S. citizen. Or then you have to get your U.S. citizenship.
Okay.
So a U.S. citizen, you have to be at least 18 years old older by the election day. So if you by November 5th here, you're 18, boom, you can vote.
Okay.
Moving forward, okay? The cool thing is, young people, if you're 16 and 17, you could pre-register to vote. So you could put your name in the system already. So you could pre-register to vote if you're 16 and 17, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that until I started doing my research. And then all you got to do for Minnesota election is you have to live here for 20 days or more. That's it. Okay. If you came from Wisconsin or another state and you only live here for like a week or two, you don't qualify to vote in Minnesota election. You can't pick who's gonna govern here, right? So you have to live here for 20 days or more. Okay.
Okay.
And then if you are a felony, you have a felony conviction or incarcerated, then you cannot vote. Okay. So that's another piece. Or if you have court order that revokes your right to vote. So if the court, you go through a court system of case and they say because of blah, 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 you cannot vote, then you can't vote. Okay. Other than that, if you are 18, a U.S. citizen and been here for 20 days or more, you can vote.
Okay.
In Minnesota election. No. So that's who can vote. And if you want more information, go back to mnvotes.gov and there's a lot more information on there. So we talked about who can vote. We talked about where to vote, how to vote. What else are you curious about, Shua?
That's pretty much it so far. Everything that we were wanting to talk about and what I wanted to know, you pretty much covered a lot of it.
Excellent. Yeah, if no more questions, then I'm going to talk about a few things and then we'll close it up. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So again, really from Common Cause, Minnesota, what we want to let you know is this. There is so much work in other community. I won't say who, but in the Hmong community, there's not enough work. Like our young people don't know enough about voting, right? And that's just information and knowledge. We want to give that information to you and knowledge so that you can make that decision and that effort to go vote. So again, your voice and your vote does matter. And it has very much a lot of meaningful impact on your family, your community, your workplace where you work, your school and everything. So that's why your vote and your voice is so important. Remind you that making a plan is the first step. Do I want to vote early? So on the website, there are technically there are 3 ways you can vote. I'm going to talk in general. Three. I don't know if you guys knew much about if you're so busy, you're the type of individual you're so busy, and you don't want to go in person. We have what's called absentee ballot. So that's the word is absent, like absent for polling. So your absentee ballot is where you can, not this election, you can, but it's very tight right now, so I don't recommend it. So what you do is go to the website, mnvotes.org, maybe the next election, you can request an absentee ballot. They're going to mail that ballot to your house. You vote and you mail it back in. You don't even have to go in line.
Okay.
That is very cool. So consider absentee ballot next time. Number one, you can vote early. So go back to the website and you can look where you can vote early. So there's certain election day, there's a lot of places to go vote. Actually, one day now we have what's called early voting in person. So that you could go, there's different government location now where you could go in right now, Monday to Friday, regular hours, you could go and vote. So you can vote early. So that's one thing too. Okay. You could go register there and you could vote early. Okay. And number 3 is to vote in person on election day. So November 5th, next Tuesday, you could go in person and vote. So those are 3 ways to vote in any election. So do that, and they're all here. You do whatever you feel most comfortable or safe. So either by mail or in person. Here is the cool thing that I want to mention too is employers, your workplace, have to allow the worker pay leave of absence to vote. So on November 5th, all you got to do is just communicate with your supervisor and say, hey, today's election, I'm going to go vote before I come to work.
Okay.
Or during your lunch break, or even you could leave early and say, hey, I'm going early here to vote.
Okay.
So you could take time off. Obviously, you and your HR can figure out what's reasonable. If you're going to be gone for the whole day to vote, obviously, it might be some red flag, right? But if you're going to be gone for, 1 or 2 hours or whatever makes sense, right? Your employer cannot fire you. That is a rights and responsibility, and that is a policy. That employer can, they have paid leave for you to go to vote. So that's your rights. Okay? If you have a question, you can call or text this. It's this is 866 ROUR vote VOTE. So 866 687 8683. So this is a little phone line where you can call or you can text if you have any question about voting here in Minnesota. Now, I believe that's a national hotline as well. So and also I want to highlight that there's election protection volunteer, where we call it non-partisan, where they don't take side, they're neutral. Their goal is to make sure they help you to get vote, okay? So, and they are located on the Minnesota Secretary website, and they're the one who oversee all the election here. So whether you vote early or in person, make sure you make a plan to vote. Every state is slightly different, but make sure you vote by November 5th. Next Tuesday. And then more question, you can also look at the website. So her website, 866 RVOTE, vote.com. Là do li họ cũng tới hai đó này nó là do mnvotes.org as well. So these are contact that you can reach out for more support, more information, because I don't know everything. I know what I know. I don't know what I don't know either.
Gotcha.
But I do want to say that, make sure if this is your first time, don't be afraid. Okay, I'm so proud of Shua Hatia. Hey, this is my first time because this is why I feel is really important. The next 2 to 4 years, who's in office is gonna matter with my family. So that you move out first time, or if you're a veteran, you vote so many times. Excellent job. Make sure you make the plan and go vote again this election because it's so important. Yeah, so I thank you for your time. Shelby Nathia, what you guys do here at Tell 'em Hmong Podcast is so important. To me, this is the first Hmong podcast that I know of. So yeah, you guys are doing amazing work. So it's an honor to be here. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. And it's an honor to be here with you, James. Wachona. Thank you for your time, and thank you for explaining all of this for me so I can get ready.
Yes, right. You got this. And then take picture and show your audience, and maybe we could do a post podcast about your experience.
Yeah.
About how was it for you, and we can have the audience say, hey, you voted. How was your experience as well? Because we got to continue to share this journey together.
Right.
Yeah. So.
All right, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to be pretty much done here. So you guys don't forget to vote. Go out there, vote. Last day is going to be Tuesday of next week. I don't believe it opens on the weekend. So if you don't know yet, study your candidates, study them and learn, and then go and vote Monday and Tuesday. All right? We'll see you guys then. Take care. Tell 'em Hmong Podcast. We're out.
Your vote matters and has real-life impacts on our community. Have you made a plan to vote? You can vote early at your voting center before Election Day, and your employer must let you go with paid time off. You can also vote by mail by requesting a ballot from the Minnesota Secretary of State's website. If you have any questions or problems voting, call or send a text to 866-OUR-VOTE. That's 866-687-8683.